The main characters in the story are a group of 200 mystical beings known as the Custodians, born from a supernatural world existing between two dimensions. They were tasked with protecting Earth and humankind, yet they carried with them ancient secrets full of danger. Marcus, the leader of the group, is a cold and mysterious figure haunted by a dark past. Not only is he the leader, but he is also tormented by the curses he once bound himself to. Lucian, a brilliant but deranged scientist, had once been controlled by a dark force which led him to carry out dangerous experiments. Alara, a woman with the ability to communicate with spirits, unwittingly imparted deadly knowledge to humanity about weapons of mass destruction. However, each member of the group holds a great secret, and their actions set in motion a catastrophic event that threatens the world's very existence. One dark, moonless night, Lucian decided to conduct an irreversible experiment. Driven by an obsession with both science and the occult, he discovered an ancient book containing forgotten secrets from millennia ago. The book was not just a tool for research, but a portal to an underground world where dark entities had been waiting to be freed. Unable to resist the power it promised, Lucian recklessly used it to combine human and animal DNA in a dangerous experiment. These experiments weren't merely scientific. They were a convergence of worlds, opening the door to the awakening of beings with destructive power. These creatures were not only grotesque monstrosities, but also had the ability to manipulate minds, blurring the lines between reality and illusion. Meanwhile, Alara, while searching for answers, unknowingly summoned an ancient spirit imprisoned in the darkness for centuries. This spirit, luring Alara, began influencing her to teach humanity how to build weapons of war for self-defense, which spiraled the world into chaos. What began as seemingly harmless actions soon triggered an irreversible chain of disasters. The mutated creatures began their attacks, and the spread of these destructive weapons led the world into an uncontrollable spiral of turmoil. It was at this point that the Custodians realized that they hadn't just made mistakes, they had unknowingly opened the gates to an unshakable nightmare. In the inky darkness of night, Marcus always felt a strange presence lurking, as though the spirits of the past were watching his every move. As the leader of the Custodians, Marcus bore a massive burden, not just leading his team, but also carrying the weight of the mistakes made by the group. Contrary to his cold exterior, Marcus was a deeply mysterious man, haunted by dark memories that he could not escape. He had once participated in an ancient ritual where he had signed a pact with a creature from another world, and since then a terrifying obsession had consumed his life. Every night, whispers from the spirits pierced his mind, warning that one day he would have to pay for the decisions he had made. As Lucian and Alara pushed forward with their experiments, Marcus, though sensing the looming danger, could not halt their actions. He realized that every step deeper into the darkness not only led him, but the entire world closer to ruin. The creatures from Lucian's experiments, the mutated monsters that Marcus couldn't control, began attacking humanity. But what was even more terrifying was that the spirits, bound by the pact Marcus had signed, began awakening, further torturing him with their haunting whispers. Marcus knew deep down that no matter what he did, the spirits would never forgive him, and the price he would pay was the ultimate destruction of himself. The consequences of the experiments and decisions made by Marcus, Lucian, and Alara began to unfold clearly, like a nightmare from which there was no escape. When the mutated creatures that Lucian had created began to awaken, they were not only grotesque in appearance, but also possessed the ability to manipulate human minds. Each appearance of these creatures brought an overwhelming darkness, suffocating the air, as if natural shadows flooded the world, accompanied by eerie whispers. The first victims were not only physically attacked, but also mentally manipulated, falling into endless nightmares. Nations began to collapse in chaos as no one could fight against these abominations. The weapons of mass destruction taught by Alara failed to help, as they became tools that only increased the destruction. Meanwhile, Marcus, once the unshakable leader, began losing control. He could no longer stop the awakening of the ancient spirits he had unwittingly released. These spirits, alongside the mutated creatures, continued their endless rampage. Cities were destroyed, and devastation spread across the planet. Marcus could feel the weight of his guilt, but the more he tried to fix things, the worse it became. The guilt was like a ghost clinging to him, trapping him in the darkness of his own making. In every moment, he realized that the world would never return to what it once was, and all his efforts only pushed humanity deeper into the abyss. In the end, after endless battles with the monstrous creatures and uncontrollable chaos, Marcus realized that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't undo the damage he had caused. Each night, the whispers of the ancient spirit grew louder and more intense, like an unavoidable warning. He had taken too many risks, and now the price to be paid was unimaginable. With a heart filled with guilt, Marcus decided to sacrifice himself to save the world. He sought out a desperate method, hoping to close the door he had unwittingly opened. But as he entered the world of darkness, he only fell deeper, caught in the curses he had signed. Lucian and Alara, though they recognized the devastating consequences of their actions, could not escape the storm they had created. The mutated creatures continued to attack, and the chaos spread even further. Lucian, forever obsessed with the power of science, now felt helpless when faced with the unforeseen consequences. Alara, though she tried to heal the wounds she had caused, could not stop the world from collapsing. The story ends with a profound message about greed and overreaching interference in natural laws. No matter how powerful one becomes, humans cannot control everything, and wrong decisions can lead to consequences that last for centuries. In the darkness, humanity was left with nothing but the ashes of what once was, and an indelible guilt that could never be washed away.